Good evening and welcome to another episode of Tablebreakers. Uh, Connell is still on assignment, and Jade is still trying to uh, deal with 60-hour work weeks. So hopefully that'll be slowing down for him here shortly. He will be able to join us. But with the panel that we do have tonight, we do have the Crafting Gamer.
Hello.
How was your week?
Pretty good.
All right. Good to hear. And of course, St. Kai of the rant of a CC, of a BB, of a DD. I don't know. But Kai, how are we doing tonight, Kai?
I'm okay. I'm here.
How was your week?
Crazy. Long and busy. Yes.
Long and busy. Okay. So tonight we are going to do a little bit of a deep dive here. We are going to be looking at the world of cyberpunk, and not necessarily the game, but the genre itself. Because yes, there are a bunch of great games out there. They kind of do everything and whatnot, but it's definitely something to kind of dig into and take a look at. So I do have some questions. So we'll go ahead and start with the Crafting Gamer here. What are some key elements that define the cyberpunk genre to you?
Well, one is kind of obvious. You got to have some sort of flying or hover vehicle for the aesthetic part of it, and buildings can be wide, varying. Sorry, like I said, and pain medication can vary widely in how they look, but they should have either a particular glowing light aesthetic or what I usually prefer is kind of a more metallic-y with shiny surfaces, sometimes a more chromy look. And then I will also go with usually a dark sky, not necessarily stormy, but like the sun never shines there. I've always liked that. It really makes the lighting feel important.
Okay. And what about you, Kai? What are some of the key elements that define the cyberpunk genre for you?
For visuals, boy, is there leather pop collars, trench coats, and enough mall samurai swords running around. Cars are horribly angular and not melted pieces of plastic. There's holograms everywhere, drugs everywhere, alcohol everywhere. The police are brutal and mean. It's the future of next Tuesday. That's the sad, scary part. When it was all written, it was the future of 30 years from now. Now it's the future of Tuesday. I don't like my cyberpunk dystopia, but we're in it. Oh, shit. It's going to get worse.
Okay, so that kind of gives us a little bit of an idea here. So we'll go ahead and start with Kai on this one. How has the cyberpunk genre evolved within the tabletop RPGs over the years? Are there any notable milestones or significant shifts in themes, mechanics, or storytelling approaches?
Okay, we're going to go back to if it was depends on which version of Cyberpunk we want to go deal with. Do you want the cassette futurism of the 80s and 90s where everybody was going to have big clunky cyberware and it was we really hadn't gone into the bioengineering field yet, where computers were still, oh, I've got a portable computer laptop. I'm gonna hack into the computer network, because we didn't think about the internet yet. The idea of remotely accessing a computer system wasn't a thing yet. And then we had the invention of the internet. Cyberpunk changed. Now you have remote decking and the internet, and now you can hack from a distance, and with cyberware gets a little bit more sleek and agile, and now we're unfortunately looking at the modern idea of it's the Apple futurism. Everything's sleek and smooth, and then we added some BioWare stuff, some bioengineering stuff, which is creepily getting closer to happening. And the flying cars would be nice, but honestly, if anybody who ever played Cyberpunk or Shadowrun or any of the other genre games, yeah, I know I like Blade Runner 2. Flying cars are cool, but nobody could afford a T-Bird. T-Birds were expensive. T-Birds put you on the map. Rich people and the police have those. You don't have that. You have a car. It probably has 6 wheels. It's got a really bad setup. 4 in the front, 2 in the rear. It works, okay? It's big, it's clunky, it's dumb. Or
there's one of the things I actually will not counter, but slightly disagree on how I do with my games on Kai. Car? What car? You aren't rich enough to afford a flying car. Anything that doesn't fly is illegal. So you better have a bike or you're walking.
Right. But at that point, are you describing like Solarpunk, where everybody at that point, one of the key things that we're dealing with is that you're probably looking at a cyberpunk world where you have if you're looking at the traditional cyberpunk, are you looking at the overly urbanized world where everyone lives in skyscrapers and high density construction, probably due to a collapse of the environment, forcing people to move out either through disasters or economic conditions, forcing everyone to move into your cities, forcing everyone to live in these industrial hell spawns that were the ideal of what created the genre in the 80s. Again, cassette futurism. So if you're going to talk about like Cyberpunk 2020 or its more modern incarnations, that's cassette futurism. Something happened and we didn't get Apple tech. I hate Apple tech. Apple tech is just boring. Shadowrun is also in your cassette futurism, both of those games, the games have evolved to have more modern ideas, and God, the newer versions of Shadowrun are just pure shit. With everything being Bluetooth and wireless, and do you turn your cyberware into autistic mode so that way it can't be hacked in combat in person by the combat deckers who are now, to make the game more active and so that way it isn't just a fat guy and a lazy boy in the back of a van hacking the internet. 90s style hack the world shit. Because no, thank you. Play too many deckers, and too often you're useless. You're either a drone user. Ooh, yay! Which, by the way, riggers are now the most scariest things in the entire fucking universe. We need only look at the modern news and on the other side of the world and see that drones are that the one thing Cyberpunk and Shadowrun got right is the lethality of drones. Sure, they're not flying around with M16s strapped to the bottom of them, but oh boy. Yeah. Drone combat is now fucking here, and that's terrifying. Cyber warfare is here. It's terrifying. Now all we need to do is get our transhumanism on and gets wait, CRISPR technology is starting to come into it. So now we have BioWare starting to come into it, and now we just need to get better cyberware, so that way in 20 years, in 25 years, I can go. I want my heart, lungs, and my arm replaced, so I can go mount a shotgun that fires coins in my arm because I want to go. I want to murder somebody with their change. Oh man, did you write a check? One moment, click, click, and go fire 4 quarters to their chest. That's what I want to do. But I mean, we're like, but the thing is that if you want to go like solar punk, where how do you move around? That's going to be the most important question. How do you get around? Dirt bikes, manual bicycles, or is everyone riding a crotch rocket Harley? And do you realize that can you imagine now a world where everyone rides a bike? Everyone. We're going back to China before it opened up, where you go see pictures of streets filled with bikers, or is everyone riding electric mopeds, or is everyone all on Harleys? And you got to cram millions of people either riding the bus, riding the trams, or are we looking at some horrifying Euro-style urbanized complex where everyone lives in arcologies? These are all the weird things that when you say there's no cars, which is cool, I like the idea of no cars, but at that point, you need to find a way to replace cars in an effective way to move millions of people.
Well, I leave tramways and that kind of stuff.
Now, okay, how secure are the trams? How secure is movement? How will this facilitate your players being able to pull off heists, crimes, and anything interesting? Because if everyone uses a tram or a subway or uses it, and only the Richie Rich get to fly in air cars, you run into the problem now of how do your players get away with doing anything? Because your players are going to stand out. The thing about here is that when you have, say, the Blade Runner view, do you remember the street sequences where they're wandering around there and everyone's weird, everyone's eccentric, everyone's different, players can blend in. But if you now have a regimented monoculture where everyone's boring as fuck, and players, by the way, are never boring as fuck people. They're always something eccentric, especially unless you want to unless you're going to play White Collar Crime, the RPG, which is not fun. I may like to play White Collar Crime, the RPG, but that's because I'm more interested in playing a Johnson. I'm more interested in playing a corpo fuck trying to do the big crimes, not the little crimes, not the little I shoot someone. No, I want to overthrow a country. That's the big crime. Those are the big boy games. Players don't play big boy games. The reason why Shadowrun Cyberpunk have riggers, have drivers, have cars, and have chases is because that allows independence. Now, it's cool having the party in one vehicle because one combat vehicle is good. Having a bunch of people riding around on souped up Yamahas and totally not stolen from Akira lightning bikes, because you want to get your weeb on with your Mall Ninja swords, your black trench coats, and your Weebo bikes.
Wait. Hold on. I think Six Nations has got it right there. Right there. The Rice Rockets.
Yeah, Rice Rockets.
The Genesis Climber. Yeah.
Now, okay, if we're going to do that, that's not... the Mosapedia Cyclone Rider armors are definitely not are not Cyberpunk. That's a post-apocalyptic mecha game, and it's a little different. Now, if that was like some new top secret you know, I Ares, you know, I Ares, Ares weapons manufacturer. So I know Shadowrun more than I know Cyberpunk. I like Cyberpunk, but let's just say Militech is boring. Militech does everything. Is it a gun? It's Militech. Is it cyberware? It's Arasaka. I kind of just want to go. I want to have more guns. I want to have more corporations, please. Even though I know deep down all things lead to Seder Krupp. All things are Seder Krupp. Everyone else is in fear, including Ares, because they run Europe. Okay. Anyway, yeah, and yeah, you could be a cool. Yeah, I understand, but that's just the thing. It's like I understand having Now, if the entire game is around the idea of being a futuristic cyber version of Hell's Angels, cool. But you gotta find a way for. But the thing is that the Hell's Angels stick out like a sore thumb, and the cops track those fuckers like it's easy, and your players have to be able to blend in to get away with shit, unless you plan on running Ocean's 11, Cyberpunk edition, adventure after adventure after adventure, which is cool, and I would prefer that. But most players want to run around with a cool trench coat, looking like they're from the Matrix if they're older, or I don't even know what young kids fucking do for their cool shit, because I don't know. Fuck it, I don't know. This is a dated genre that we're rapidly approaching the real world of, and I don't want to think about how it really would look with a bunch of TikTokers doing fucking weird ass shit. First, I had to stream it. God.
Okay, so TCG, for you, how has the cyberpunk genre evolved within the tabletop RPGs over the years? And are there any notable milestones or significant shifts in themes, mechanics, or storytelling approaches?
Well, as I don't have much experience outside of my small group, my experience of small groups, nothing much changed over the 10 years I was jamming. Not too many people were at least then, that interested in Cyberpunk anyway, so I only got to run it like 3 times? Yeah, 3 times. One of them was the catastrophic tale of the building being brought down to kill a demon.
Okay.
I can tell that story again if you want.
Go for it.
Okay. It started off with a crashed alien ship, and in that alien ship was a bunch of nasty things, including a literal demon alien. The demon alien took over a corporation. The corporation hired the party to get the alien who was piloting the ship. They managed to find him. He told them they had been tricked by the demon alien. They had gone completely heathen dog from religion of myth, humanists. Okay, we know who the truth is now. First, we kill you, alien, the good alien, because he's not human. And then they decide, okay, if they work for the evil alien, everyone in that building is guilty. We're just going to bomb down the building. So they literally sneak in, set charge at the bottom of the building, sneak out, and then just level the whole building with over 100 people in it. Their logic was if they worked for the alien, they were automatically evil, even though they had no idea they were working for an alien.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah.
All right. Now, for me, and Kai kind of hit on this, and even Six Nations, kind of, hit on this too. If you look at, I'm going to use the video game, Cyberpunk 2077. It did use a lot of wireless, but it was awesome because you could wirelessly, turn off people or, disable them from, before you even walked into the building. Now, it didn't always work, but you could also confuse the hell out of them by sending, impulses or data, making them think that, oh, someone's here, even though no one's there, and to make them go look other places. So I think it really, and yes, we are coming up on that. And every time that we come up on those technologies, if you look at the way that Cyberpunk has been put out there, they've moved that bar a little bit further because, as Kai said, we're coming up on, oh, well, this is stuff that's actually in here. And, to the point of, and even going back to the original one with the aesthetic, I'm looking at, the dirt bike slash, the rice rockets or crotch rockets, whatever you want to call them. They have, metal embedded within their skin. Everyone has some kind of implant of some kind. No, Bruce actually was is now working a different shift, so we're kind of moving on without him. When he's available, he'll be joining us. But yeah, but going back to what I was saying is we are, those aesthetics of, and then the samurai sword on the back and then jumping off the bike, pulling that out. That's like an aesthetic that's just like there. They may look like, Borg that have been reformed and have these little implants and cybernetics and whatnot. But the thing is that when you're looking at the aesthetic of Cyberpunk, and it kind of really works into this too, is how it's evolved, is that yes, the realm it's being forced evolved because of the way our technology is coming up to it. So if you were to look at something from like the late 70s, early 80s, even mid 80s in that genre, and the working it forward, if you were thinking, in Cyberpunk, they had the micro cassettes that used to go into actually, the computers that people use for backups. That's some of the stuff they've done now. Now it's evolved into a thumb drive or an external hard drive or something along those lines. And looking at
what you can't download the entire world-saving internet thing onto a 3.25 floppy.
No. What I'm talking about is the actual.
I remember those two.
Those discs that look like little cassettes, but they were literally like this big, and they held like 5 times what a floppy or 6 times what a floppy
Zip discs.
And it's like this is just so much storage, and now you're looking at it going, yeah, okay, Memorex. Yeah, the Memorex stuff, and the looking at the how I would say that the milestones and the shifts have actually come with our own technology. And what's funny is that our own technology looks at those games on some of the things to bring forward. There are some of the games, I'm going to use, this isn't Cyberpunk, but Dick Tracy being able to communicate through his watch. Now, we have nice little things, smartwatches that we can actually use as a telephone to talk to each other if we have the SIM card in for it. So, well, but that's the thing, is that they've looked at technology this was really cool. And they started bringing that forward. Now, in order to keep that realm of fantasy or to keep that realm of craziness, they're moving it further and further in to having to push those boundaries just for the simple fact of the stuff's already here. We have to come up with new stuff, a new way of doing stuff.
The funny thing I like is that if you were a fan of like of the old third edition Shadowrun stuff, modern day VR chat, especially if you can run a voice change changer with it simultaneously, it starts to resemble very close to how some of the nets that people would log into and do, trade information, download data or just network with other people, starts to resemble very close to what people are supposedly did in the 90s in our fiction. And now people are like, yeah, I'm just gonna go log on and go play a cute anime girl with a voice changer. I go, that was, I'm gonna that was high tech shit in the high tech futuristic shit as of 1997. But now
exactly.
But now it's commonplace that people are building turtles, are to be able to just sit back and go, I'm just gonna log on to the internet and go chat with somebody, and it's like we're literally like, if you played Deckers back then, I mean, people can we're not quite to the point now where we can run a VR rig off of your cell phone or your personal assistant.
Yeah, but
we're getting there, and so I'm just waiting for Apple / Google / Elon Musk to just give me the ability to chop an arm off and run a digital, run my Samsung device through my arm and have it wired into my cyber eyes, so that way I could have my voice change box with a mind reader chip running into my cell phone, so I can experience the power of the internet through my arm. Yes.
And if you actually think about it, with the augmented reality stuff, that's actually starting to come in, because those are actually kind of running off of the cell phones, and that kind of works into one of the next questions I have, is that what type of technology that doesn't exist now do you want, or do you typically find in your cyberpunk world?
Ooh.
Crafting Gamer, I'll start with you because I started with Kai last time. I'll let Kai stew on this for a second.
See, there isn't much I haven't added that I couldn't find it. Oh wait, no, there is something. The sensory chip. I did this to entice one of my horny players. You implant this chip, and you can enter a 3D world where you will physically feel everything that happens to your character.
So essentially, it's a chip that works like a haptic suit.
Yeah, except it's chip granted directly into the brain. He could not resist that idea because his character could not get laid because he had a very low charisma, basically. So he wanted to get laid all the time. His character got laid, so I gave him that chip. Thing was, and I warned him, your character will feel everything he experiences in the VR. He got himself killed in the VR. His character went into the system shop and died.
Oh, so they're paying for the really spicy stuff. God.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Kai, what about you?
Okay, things I want that are in my Shadowrun game. Suborbital transport planes. I want to be able to load myself onto a ballistic rocket and fire myself at Tokyo. Oh, sorry, Get on the plane in New York and end up in Tokyo in 2.5 hours through a suborbital flight. That's cool. We're never gonna we might see that. Goddamn you, Elon Musk. But I want a permanent space station ruled by corpos, so that way I could try to steal an ICBM and blow it out of orbit. Hey, if we're playing Shadowrun and Cyberpunk, let's go for the fucking moon here, which, by the way, includes living on the moon. Why are we not there yet? God damn the 70s. So we have moon bases, rich people in orbit who are now targets of laser beams and missiles, but don't worry, that space station is defended like a goddamn fucking Fort Knox. People flying around on rocket planes. I want my Ares-built U.S. Navy nuclear submarine aircraft carrier. I want laser weapons because fuck, I want to shoot the genetic weirdo psycho experiment guy who's possessed by a bug spirit and be like, I fucking hate you, my best friend. Laser beams. And because that's cool. Because I rode my Weibo lightning bike to go fight the bug spirit guy with a laser cannon, which I stole from the military. I want a high-speed chase with rocket launchers and giant cyberware dudes happening in downtown. Like, oh man, it's just another day in downtown. I'm on my bus trip, and then some guy flies through on a jetpack, while carrying 14 rail guns, and he's got cyber legs and a tail, and he's shooting laser beams from his eyeballs while he's being chased by the 4th Armored Division, and go, this is Tuesday. This is a fucking Tuesday. I'm okay with this. I need to call my boss and say, hey, I'm gonna be about 30 minutes late due to a cyber war happening in downtown. Hey, will that be okay? Yeah, don't worry about it. We saw on the news. We know you're fine. Cool. I'll see you there, boss. I want to be able to I want to have weird shit like this happening. I want to get back to the idea that the one thing from Shadowrun and Cyberpunk that I want back is unlimited Second Amendment rights. I want to go down to the local gun shop and go, I want the four-shot 1980s commando style rocket launcher, please. Give me that. Click. Why? I'm going to go hunt a bug. And have the guy go, good luck to you, sir. And you go out the door, and the cop looks at you like, do you have a license for that 4-shot anti-tank missile launcher you got on your shoulder? Yes, I do. And here's $500 so you say I said I had it. Good day, sir. Thank you. And then go out there and have people just go, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. He's got a trench coat and a rocket launcher. That's a normal day here. That's a fucking normal day in this place. And
players walk into a gun shop.
Nobody has seen the sun in at least 3 years because I don't know why. We built the city too big. And it's fantastic. But don't worry, I'm going to leave 4 feet outside town and be like, all I see is vast wastelands of nothing, Fallout land, super mutants, and Mad Max weirdos. I need my rocket launcher and my El Camino. And I'm going to go out there and hunt an oil tanker. And that's yes, things we don't have yet. Complete environmental collapses. We don't have the idea that we're all eating cheap, free fucking nutrient paste out of a vending machine. And I want my holographic porn that's 4 stories tall that everyone gets to see. Let's talk to me at the same time. So you all get to see my fucking fantasy going on here on a 4-story tall fucking hologram. That's it. And I want my cops to be more armed than God because they're fighting people who are gods. So fuck it. We're going to have this shit. I want a complete breakdown of society the way that Shadowrun and Cyberpunk told me it was going to be.
So really, what you're kind of looking at is kind of a Judge Dredd meets cyberpunky, yeah. So yeah, it's just kind of like, oh well, yeah, we have Mega City 1, and there's just so much pollution that we can't see the sun,
right?
Wait, where's the EPA on this?
It's gone.
EPA
It was deemed we had no budget for the EPA. The corporations was like, fuck the EPA. They're gone now. You're good. Oh man, I got my arm blown off, but luckily my insurance allows me to have a new one regrown upon me with BioWare. Yeah, my corporation now owes me the next 800 years of my life, but don't worry, we have anagathics. I'll be working until I'm 801, so it'll be okay. I'm going to be pushing car parts off at a counter until for the next 800 years, but that's okay. The corporation owns me because I got a new arm. Why? Because it's blown off in the last laser war. It's okay.
All right, so going to switch gears here a little bit. In Cyberpunk, tabletop RPGs, world building plays a crucial role. What are some effective techniques to create an immersive cyberpunk setting? And we'll start with Kai on this one because I started with CTG's last one.
Okay, first off, throw out the idea that you'll ever have any kind of functional federal level government. Hell, throw out the idea you have a state level government that works. Throw out the idea that you have a municipal level government that works. Just assume, turn on the news, take notes, write down everything bad you think the world is, and then turn it to 11. Go fucking Spinal Tap on it. Like, everything's wrong, everything's borked, everything's corporate, nothing belongs to you, everything is wonderful. There's whatever conspiracy you think is out there, it's probably true. Why? Because you're an idiot. Because the people you're playing are stupid. No, you are. You're playing a dumb person. You're playing somebody. If you were a smart person in a cyberpunk setting, you'd be wearing a suit in that big tower up there. You would be a corporate elite. You wouldn't be down here with going, man, I need to go knock over a megacorp so I can go buy a cheeseburger because I want to eat real meat this week. Or man, I need to be able to keep up with the Joneses, so I need a laser cannon, and the laser cannon costs this much. So to get that laser cannon, I need to go over here and talk to Mechano Bob. Mechano Bob is going to give me a job to go knock over this convoy. I don't care. I'm not supposed to ask questions. I'm supposed to grab the box, bring the box, give the box, and then do the thing. Get the stuff, and then go, and then don't ask anything. And just realize, depending on if you've got magic or technology going on here, weird stuff happens. And you just got to realize you are a small fish in a very, very big pond with very big fish. So if you think you're a big person, no, someone's going to kick you in the nuts and then walk past you. And that's the misery of it. So you can look at the whole idea of the world and then ask the question, how much of the world is your players going to see? Oh, not much. Or maybe you got a globe-trotting group, and maybe you need to know what Berlin looks like, or what Tokyo looks like, or what Shanghai looks like, or Hong Kong, back when it was still actually interesting. That's the thing. This is the future of yesterday. I mean, that's the thing about we're talking about Cyberpunk. This is the future of the 80s. This isn't the future of today. This is the future of the 1980s, 1990s. This is the future of the Matrix. Oh dear God, that movie was actually accurate. The idea that was the pinnacle of mankind, and this is the world of darkness, but with robotics, and you're going to be miserable. It's going to be fun, and just embrace the aesthetic and just realize vast portions of the world are not important. Flyover country might as well be filled with super mutants and cannibals and weird guys in football pads and bondage gear riding around the desert because fuck it, the government doesn't care about it. What do they give a shit? And you don't know until you go out there and have fun. But most likely your players are all a bunch of weirdos who are, coked out of their brain, drugged out, cybered out, and trying to, I want a cheeseburger. I'm going to go, knock over something because real meat costs money and I don't have money. I need money. and working a day job is for fucking stiffs. I'm sorry.
Fine. So, TCG for you, and for Cyberpunk, world building. What is crucial with world building with those TTRPGs, and what are some effective techniques to creating an immersive cyberpunk setting?
Well, a bit like Kai on that one, where you can have a lot of wide varying things. But I know. I will give you the immersion I gave some characters that woke up from cryostasis into a cyberpunk Japan. You walk outside. You see. Well, I'm going to steal this from Kai, but I didn't think of it, but he's right. A 4-story tall hologram. Everything is kind of chromish, lit up by different chrome, but you don't see different lights, but you don't see where the light sources are coming from. They're just lit up different colors. You see a couple flying vehicles go by, and then you see a giant metallic dragon fly past, chasing one of the vehicles. You hear gunfire off in the distance, and then you look over, and you see a man walking past while he has a cybernetic arm holding up an umbrella that's coming out of his hand. Welcome to your new home. You're muted, Kai.
Sorry. Six Nations just mentioned probably one of the best, greatest comics you'll ever read, Transmetropolitan. I don't spoil it. It's awesome. Spider Jerusalem is the best character you will ever read. It's great. If you want to take on how to do this genre without having to go everyone's chromed out Edge Runner style or weird as fuck, that's how you could do it and have fun doing it.
I have to check that out. I don't have much experience with Cyberpunk other than what I just described.
Okay. The thing here is that one of the big questions, I know I focused on the two big games of the genre, but the question you're always going to be running into is what does it mean to be human? That's the ultimate thing about playing in Cyberpunk. You're in a you're in a world that has dehumanized you. There is almost nothing in this world that's still whatever you were. Whatever you know today is going away. It's going away quickly. Do you want flesh? You can have it changed.
Oh.
We have depending on which version of the game you're going with, you can change. I want new hair. You could go have new hair installed. I want to be thin. Bioengineering got it down. I don't like human flesh. Congratulations, the machine spirit craves your attention. Now you got cyber. What?
Have you seen the movie where a giant pyramid appears in the middle of New York, and and come to find out it's full of gods that needed to mate with a human?
No, I did not. I don't know that movie.
Oh, too bad. That is it is an okay movie, but the premise is perfect. It's extremely cyberpunk, and almost every single person has extreme level of cybernetics. One guy opens up his shirt and you literally see his internal organs, but they're all cybernetic. Right.
Now, the thing here is that a lot of what comes I'm pulling from the fact that Six Nations mentioned Transmetropolitan. The thing there is that the game questions every Shadowrun. I know we focus on the big guns, the giant cyberware, the corporations that are dehumanizing, but the ultimate stories that matter, that really hit hard, is that question of what makes you human. Who's a human? Is the guy who's cybered out to the point where he only has an essence /humanity score in the point zero number range, is he still human? Is there still something in there? What about the idea, like in certain storylines in Shadowrun Third Edition, you ran into the story of what happens if the computer becomes alive. I know we are currently staring down the barrel of general AI. Shadowrun looked at that same problem about 40 years ahead of us. Depending on which storyline you're reading, is it either Morgana or Deus? That setting had a general AI happen twice, and each time it was terrifying. The first time it happened, it nearly destroys the internet as the world knew it. The second time it happened, it almost destroys humanity, but it stopped before it can get free, or did it? You don't know. The storyline's dropped. But you're looking down the gun barrel of those two kind of statements, and is the machine a human? What makes it human? Like, when do you lose your humanity? If somebody with BioWare changes all of who they are, it's that Ship of Theseus question of how, like, and not only is it just the physical side of it, it's also the emotional side. How much freedom are you willing to give up? Because there are corporate drones who trade off their body, their flesh, and their minds, and possibly even their souls to the corporations for money. And you're playing a Shadowrun. You're playing a Shadowrunner. You're playing an Edge Runner. You're playing a punk, a rebel against it. You're not part of the system. That's the thing. You're not part of the system. Because there's nothing to be if you're part of the system. The idea that you're trying to do something, be someone, hold on to some fragment of your freedoms, your humanity, your anything, and how far do you go to maintain that? And you're also looking at a world that you are an expendable asset. You are a nameless, numberless creature that, as in the eyes of the government and the corporations, if you were to die tomorrow, they wouldn't care. They would probably just throw you into an unmarked grave or into the corpse yeast machines to generate more food for people tomorrow. You are a nothing. So you either make something of yourself and go out like a champion, or you burn out and become a nobody, or you die. But you die famous. You die or you go and make enough money to go move somewhere where you don't have to survive, because you tasted power, you felt its burning pain, and you went, no, I'm good. I'm going to go and become a nameless drone, and then you fade away. The idea is that you're going to die. How do you die is a major theme here. But all of it comes down to is how far does your humanity go? The technology is cool. Humanity matters more. It's honestly where I keep coming back to. And yes, when you have the idea that it's just frustrating when it's just like, oh, we're just here to make money and get cyberware. And I'm going, you're the people who the machine wants. But we're supposed to be punks. We're supposed to be rebelling against the system. We should be trying to dismember the system. But that's just one way to play. The thing about it is that you're in a big world. You can play a drone. You can play a simp. You can play a weeb. You can play a rebel who knows they can't stop it, but they're doing something. There's so many ways to play it, and you don't know who's the real enemy. You're not sure. You're never sure, because there's always someone bigger, or maybe once in a while you look up into the stars and see this one fast-moving, glowing dot in the sky moving. You go, that's where all the assholes live. I want to live there one day, but you never will, because you don't make enough money. The world's dying. What the fuck do we do? And yeah, it's transhuman. Like it's a transhumanism comment. It's like there's so much to explore in this genre. That's so much more than big guns, fast cars, and holographic sex. And oh yeah, and mind drugs. Fuck.
Drugs never actually came into play in my Cyberpunk games.
You haven't had a chance to play it enough then.
No, that is true.
Look, if you're doing the thing is brain dancing, the idea that you're putting somebody else's memories into your thing, that is a drug. It's a cyber drug, but it's a drug. You're doing something to alter your perception of reality. There are other ways to do that. Like if you go into high cyberware, you look at your drugs being simply, I put something in my, I change my cyber eyes perceptions, and now I get a different feedback, and now it's different and cool. It's just so many ways to screw with it that isn't just simply chemicals that you're ingesting. But then again, you might just want to go, I don't want to live today. I don't want to think about what the fuck I've seen and or done. I just want to feel pleasure. You put some horrible cocktail into your system, some digital, and if you're mostly a machine, some digital virus into you, and well, now you get to feel good for a few minutes. And how long are you going to hold that high? That's again, how much of your humanity are you willing to throw in a dumpster to survive? And because you look out your goddamn little window, your concrete box that you've been locked into, that was given to you by the government or the corporations, and you look out into a soulless, dark, dank, gray city lit by neon and holograms, watching the rich fly by on their hover cars while you go down to your little Honda mini scooter so you can go to your day job, so you can go toil for 8 hours to go make money that you'll never see, so you can go eat some tasteless paste that someone says is a McBurger, and then you go home to your shitty fucking house and go watch your cyber porn. This is your existence. Congratulations. Do you accept this like so many millions of others, or do you go out and do something? You may die. You're probably going to die. But do you at least try to live for a few moments rather than just 80 years of drudgery? Because, 20 years ago, the government took away your ability to retire, because obviously working till you die is the best thing for the world's population. But don't worry, all the good jobs are being done by robots. So you've got no future. What do you got? Nothing. The ability to go watch YouTube and look at cyber porn. That's all you've got to look forward to. Are you happy? Take your cyber drugs. Eat your paste that your cyberware is telling you tastes good. And be mediocre, because that's all the corporations want from you, to be a goddamn useless consumer. And that's what you're role-playing, guys. Be a PC. Do something.
Now, see, it's very interesting you bring all this up, because the next question, it's like you read my questions, and I know you didn't, because I didn't show you these beforehand. Character creation is a fundamental aspect of any tabletop rolling game. How does character creation in Cyberpunk tabletop RPGs differ from other genres? And what are some unique character archetypes seen in these games?
I'm just going to say, rewind the video about 15 minutes to the start of my rant, and then hit play. There's my answer.
Like I said, it's like you knew what I was going to ask before I asked it. What the hell?
I may have played a lot of Shadowrun and Cyberpunk at some point in my past. I may have.
Okay, so TCG, this is your time. You can respond to the rant that was just given.
As I haven't played much Cyberpunk, the only thing I really know is that is unique to the system, to the setting, is the jackers. I think that's what they're called, the people that can jack into the net. The cyber ninjas, which I've heard a lot about, or cyber samurai. I've never heard of them even in Palladium Cyberpunk. Uh, though I've always loved the idea of having the basically the ancient master among technology. Not like he rejects technology or the technology rejects him, but he's fascinated by it and is capable of working with it while still being mystic, if that makes sense. I know that's not really unique to the genre, but that's something
Well, we're talking about character creation and how does what type of archetypes make them really unique. Kai kind of went more on the the humanity aspect.
Yeah, admittedly, I have not played enough Cyberpunk to truly answer that particular question. Palladium character creation is the same no matter what game you're playing.
But don't they have different ways that they handle things with the different games?
Yes, they do. Thing is when I was doing that, I wasn't reading enough of the books, so I just kind of winged it a lot.
Okay.
That's why in one of my previous videos I say, read the books. I learned the hard way what happens when you don't read the book and just wing it all the way through. You read the book and then realize, oh, wow, I was playing like 50-80% wrong.
Here's the best part. Did anyone notice? No? But he had fun. He did it right.
Fair.
So in talking with character creation and things along those lines, with that, is it better within a cyberpunk type game to embrace more of the magic side, or to kind of let that be absorbed by the technology side?
That's a very hard. Right there, you're at one of the most important questions on if you're going to play. Either do you plan on this? This comes down to what engine are you running. If you care about technology, you have Cyberpunk. It's there. It's elegant. It's creepy but fun. If you like magic and you want to dive into the spirit as well as the human body, there's Shadowrun. I would prefer you play with Boomerrun. That's also because I'm a cassette futurism fan. Now, for those of you who are Apple Tech fans, Apple Run, you can play with your Wi-Fi's and your Bluetoothy hardware, cyberwares, and your Decker, who actually is not a useless potato. But the game is complete crap because it has the world's worst fucking creation engine built into it. I detest it. Sorry, I'm a gearhead at heart, and I want to be able to get into the engine and tinker and create my own guns, cyberware, bioware, spells, cyberware, and digital hacker assets, as well as be able to design my own fire-breathing hover El Camino. Yes, that was third. Third was the last true edition because it was the end of Fastest Run. Then it becomes Catalyst Catalyst Games, and that was complete trash. But Cyberpunk still exists. Or if you kind of want to have a little bit more of that, GURPS exists. But GURPS is its own beast, and we don't talk about it because it's the grand unifying beast that just sits there in the background going, I can do everything. If you put the effort into it, I am everything. And I'm like, no, you go over there with the Rollmaster dumpster, and I will ignore you. But you love me. No, I don't. You come back, brother. I know. But I choose to ignore you. Or you can just go, Screw all that and play Eclipse Phase. Yes, don't. It's awesome. It's terrible. I love and hate it. But it really comes down to since most people don't have a good grasp on what makes a human human, trying to add in what makes magic work in a world of that ultimately is a better game for that, and that it is a much better game for playing magical technology and weirdness. That's called Mage the Ascension. Just play Mage the Ascension if you want to play Magitech and weird cyberware and trying to in humanity. But if you must have cyberware, Shadowrun. But if you want to have a good magic system and your big brain, Mage the Ascension. If you just want to play with Technoland, Cyberpunk, it exists. It's the genre name. Go play Blade Runner, the RPG. Enjoy it, and leave those of us who want to actually do navel gazing and ask if we are actually still humans or if we're actually replicants to other people. Oh dear God, I want to play it. I want to play a Cyberpunk Shadowrun game so badly. It would be so much fun.
Okay, so let's see. The concept of corporations and mega corporations is central to many cyberpunk narratives. How do tabletop RPGs explore the power dynamics between these corporate entities and individual characters? TCG.
I haven't spent much time when I was in the cyberpunk area. I didn't think much about the corporations other than the corporation that was hiring characters to hunt down the alien. As much as I like when players make their own empire, I have never been given much of a chance to try to do that as player or GM because the players tend to veer it off. So I have virtually no experience of how to do that.
Okay. Honest answer. Kai.
Corporations are characters. As far as they are a terrible, scary monolith that has to be detailed out in a way that makes it. I know I made fun of certain things, but oh God, give me 1 second. I need a refresher on corp names, just to be able to fucking to be able to do this right, because people will chew my head off if I don't do this right.
Never. The internet
Right.
go crazy. Somebody
what?
getting something wrong?
Gamers being horrifically anal and autistic? What? In front of my rubber ducky? No. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with Shadowrun because Shadowrun. There are certain things that when you say the name in a game, you know what you're going to be dealing with. If you're playing Shadowrun, if someone says this is an Ares technology weapon a device, it's probably going to be a car, a tank, a plane, a gun. Why? Because it's General fucking Motors. And every gun company in America under one fucking wave the American flag, apple pie, glorious wreck of a country. The thing is, every company in a cyberpunk setting has this feel. If we go back to Blade Runner, I just remember Wayland Yutani exists in Blade Runner here. And the thing is, ask yourselves, if you say certain company names, they should bring something like, again, I mentioned Wayland Yutani. Does this name mean anything to you? It should. It probably does. If if I was to, just any corporate, hell, if I just say, hey, you're dealing with what is a techno mega corporation. You're dealing with everything that has an element into the military industrial complex. You're going to see people who don't care about laws because they exist above laws. We see that today, but we're not talking about today. We're looking at companies that can go, I don't give a shit about, like, this is American soil. We have laws here. And at which point they go, yeah, and the American law system stopped at the fence post. But what? We're a multinational mega corporation that's headquarters on the moon. Fuck you. But I can shoot you in my own country, in my own office, and nobody will arrest me. Except for the one player who has Doc Wagon on Platinum, and suddenly a bunch of Space Marines and a Hive shows up, blows open the office door, guns down everyone in the room, and takes the one dying player off to go get rescued, leaving the rest of the players going, what the fuck just happened? Oh, that was Doc Wagon. You mean one player actually spent the $1 million to get the Platinum rating? Yeah. Well, shit. Meanwhile, the corporate set goes, that was my favorite window. I'm going to kill the rest of you now. And, this is normal. This is the world you're in. And it's like, oh, hey, I need to have I need a new computer. Do you go down to the AMD store? Do you go down to the Apple store? Do you go order something from somebody? Did you buy your totally awesome Glockenspiel new assault rifle? Yes, you did, and the corporation now thanks you for it, and you'll be happy because whatever, and you're going to be everything you do is corporate owned. The internet you logged on to is Neo Cyber Xfinity there is sitting here looking at you going, we're tracking everything you do. No, for I have Cyber Nord VPN that will only stop us for like 10 minutes. You know that, right? Yeah, but for 10 minutes I'm awesome.
Yeah, I was expecting Kai to say
11, you're dead. Well, good. That means 10. At 10, if I unplug, you won't catch me. Fuck. Meanwhile, I go over to the McDonald's bathroom stall, sit down, jack into the internet, and turn on my Cyber Nord VPN and go hack the planet for approximately 8 minutes before the cops show up and shoot me on the toilet. It's okay. This is Cyberpunk.
There was one part of that scenario Kai got wrong. Yeah, I have NordVPN. Oh, really? We own that.
Oh, okay, come on. You're not playing some weird guy who's sitting in a suburban house, wanting to go look at British porn from the US, or some British guy who wants to look at Chinese porn from Thailand. He wants to go. You're playing somebody who actually goes to the dark web, the mystical, fake, totally not real dark web. And you're not logging on using your Mozilla Model 12 version 247. No, you're using some custom browser. You're probably using an OS that you've built from scratch because you're one of those weird ass fucking Linux Unix users who I spent 14 days trying to change my kernel so I could turn on my sound card. But it's not hackable from the outside. Meanwhile, grandma across the hallway is using some ancient fucking router that's been, has the default password of password, and it's been that way since 2032. It's 2067, but she hasn't upgraded her router yet. So, you're logging into her router from your bathroom, so that way you can go and hack the internet. And meanwhile, grandma gets shot by assassins, and you're like, hey. And as you escape into into the darkness with doing weird shit like this. This is the world. Like, just remember, the world that you're now playing in is probably as dumb as the world that we're in today. But now move it 30 years into the future and think about how dumb someone is now. If any of you have worked IT, you understand how dumb people are. If anyone works in any form of anything, you know how dumb people are. Now imagine this, where we've gone a little bit further and we don't have the right to repair anymore. And everyone is literally thinks about the idea that the machine is stupid, is box created stupid for them because Apple has made us all retarded. If you're an Apple user, you're a retard because you need to have your boxed, safe little environment where it's all curated by the corporations, so that way you have a perfect, pristine little environment where you can, and your UI is so dumb user friendly that even your mom can use it. And your mom and your dad, who just masturbates all day and drinks beer while watching sports, gets to be able to use the internet. Congratulations, that's what Apple does, and that's what probably what mega corporation cyberware in the internet future probably has it all down to. But you're not playing that guy. Please don't play your parents. When you're role playing, don't play as stupid as your parents. You're probably somebody who has, jailbroken your laptop or your phone or whatever you're using to get on the internet. You're probably using non-standard parts. Yeah, I say NordVPN because honestly, we're on the internet. It's on the commercial every freaking day. Now, can you imagine what the cyber version of Raid Shadow Legends looks like? Oh, it's probably horrible. It's probably horrible.
That would be brutal, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah. 400 pop-ups for your gacha game, and you're playing through a postage stamp through your cyber eyes. Man, alternate reality, pop-up. Hey, you better spin that wheel so you can get 3 more gems, so then tomorrow you can spin the wheel so you can get 1 more hero. If you spend 14 new yen today, you'll be able to get the bonus deluxe super pack for legendary heroine big boobs archer chick. It's because you want to be able to be the best of the best, right? Of course you do. Start the day, bring your friends. What?
I say, you just can't see your feet.
It doesn't matter. You don't care. You're the one who's watching her backside because you're playing cyber VR alternate reality Raid Shadow Legends the 4th. Return of your credit card, and it's like, and you get your free wake up call. You're sitting here sleeping in your bed, and you get the little wake up call, and beep 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 beep. Your cyber ear is currently yelling at you because you can't mute that because the corporations won't let you mute that, and it's telling you, get up, it's time to play, it's free spin time. You need to get your 10 minutes dopamine hits. Quick, play. Spend 5 more new yen so that way you can get the times 5 speed multiplier so you can do the runs faster, so you can do this. You need the new hero. You need this. This is the corporations that are trying to milk you dry. You're going to be miserable. Everything's just there to make you feel better for a little bit. And don't worry, we're gonna pop up everyone's little Paimon's gonna show up in the background and go, "Hi there, I'm the cute icon creature, mascot thing to remind you to play our game." Ah! No, you're playing a Shadowrunner. You're playing a Cyberpunk character. You're probably somebody who's not running standard crap because all you did was look out the window one day and see the mindless drones and zombies walking around playing their fucking VR games and AR games, playing their gacha shit, and they're playing, or they're playing Wordle for the fucking 1,000th time, or they're doing their their Sudokus again, or they're doing they're doing whatever time-wasting thing they're doing to continue to survive being the soulless, lifeless zombie drone that the corporations want you to be. But yeah, you're not running. I guarantee you're not logging in with Internet Explorer. You're not logging in with your and with whatever the fuck oh god, what the hell program is it? Yeah, you're probably not logging in to go do your hacking on Google Chrome, because Google's just sitting there going, I'm going to eat your soul. Why? Because we're watching you. We have an automated AI. It's literally just watching you for he's looking at porn that's not normal. Flag it. And then some database guy is sitting here going, one moment, let me check the backlogs. And, well, I have 14 people who might have been involved in this crime. Do some more data entry. I've narrowed it down to this one guy. He looks at really, really creepy shit. Kill him. And you're just walking along, and all of a sudden the Comcast van rolls up there, opens the side, you're gunned down in the streets, and then Comcast drives off. And everyone kind of goes, must not be this bill. And Comcast laughs at you. And then drives off.
Never hear from me again. You know what happened.
What was that?
Never hear from me again. You know what happened.
That's right. Just remember, the phone company is the scariest thing in the entire universe. Never mess with the phone company. In any game that has a phone company, do not mess with the phone company.
Okay. Let's see here. Cyberpunk often features a dystopian or post-apocalyptic settings. How do game masters effectively convey this atmosphere and tone in the setting? TCG.
In the city, you won't see much of that. But if you leave the city, you will see destruction. Like in Palladium, I forgot, it's literally just walking distance away. You start off in a big city for I forgot which, I think it's Rifts, Japan. That's all cyberpunk because they managed to hit a black hole during the destruction of the world. But if you walk, literally, I think it's just a day or two walk from the city, you will find the ruins of another city. And then if you go another direction, you will find a small village that focuses on magic and chi to deal with the supernatural threats. So if you stay inside the city and basically willfully stay ignorant, you'll never know the world collapsed in that particular game. But the moment you leave the city, you will instantly realize the world is not the way it was.
All right. Kai.
Run that by one more time. I was seriously thinking about Jimmy Buffett.
Okay, so oftentimes cyberpunk in tabletop RPGs are often depicted in a dystopian or post-apocalyptic setting. How do game masters convey effectively the atmosphere and tone of this setting?
You just gotta. I know it's hard for those of us who live out in more rural areas. Actually, for people who who live in more rural areas, who role play, all you gotta do is imagine New York City, but worse. Imagine what all the stories of what Los Angeles looks like, but worse. And for those of you who live in urban cities, just open your window and think about how much worse it could be. And that's what it is. Every fear-mongering thing you hear, even though the world isn't as bad as it really is, but think about all your fears and make them manifest. Make that like, if you like the environmental collapse, it's happened. Think about every 70s post-apocalyptic world. Or you can just play with the idea that communication, like, you're not allowed to have free speech. Communications are monitored. Everything you do is watched. And there's a social credit system without ever being a social credit system. The only way you can be a person is if you go off the grid. You have to show the idea that leaving the city probably won't save you. leaving Mega City 1 is not going to give you freedom, because probably for as much as a full gas tank will get you, it's probably devastation in all directions. But you might hear of the idea of there's a, somewhere, probably in flyover country, probably somewhere in Wyoming, there's still green grass. The water is still clean to drink. It's not terrible. One day we could escape this place. Buy 3 whole tanks of gas and get to Wyoming. That would be nice. But then you realize that no, Colorado exists, and Colorado has destroyed everything around in that area too. Well, I'll go further. Chicago exists. Chicago has destroyed all life around the Great Lakes. And Detroit, it's turned into mega city. Chicago and Detroit, the two halves of the shittiest city. And then there's Milwaukee that's just sitting here in the distance. And you're like, oh fuck, where do I go to escape this urban hell? I'll go somewhere else. No, St. Louis exists. Nashville exists. I'll go further south. Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, and Houston exists. Fuck, Houston exists in the real world. Just imagine Houston, but worse. God fucking damn it. Wherever you go, you can't escape it. You're never that far from the reach of the urban hellholes, and you just gotta convey. No matter where you go, there's no escaping this. There's nothing you can do. Where are you going to run? Are you going to run to Canada? Into the Canadian outback? Into the far territories of the north? No, because that's just miserable too. Where do you run? It's like if you're playing Shadowrun. Well, I'll run off into the mountains and into the plains, and then you're murdered by Native American tribes because they hate you because you're a fucking urbanite piece of shit scum. They're going to kill you. Why? Because remember, the United States tried to nuke the Native Americans, and then the Great Ghost Dance happened, and now the Great Plains belong to the Native American tribes, and you're fucked because you can't leave. You can't go anywhere. America's shit. The Confederacy is shit. Mexico will kill you. Okay, I'll go to Japan. Oh, good. The Yakuza are going to kill you because it's Japan and they're xenophobic. Fuck you. I go to China. They're just going to kill you. Why? It's China. I go to Russia. They're going to kill you. Why? It's Russia. I go to Germany. Congratulations, you died. From what? The air. The air and the water is so terrible it killed you. I go to North Africa. That's where Germany has war games, live action war games. They shoot each other with tanks. There's mercenary arms that have fucking gladiator games that are televised in Libya. Why? Because Libya doesn't exist anymore. It's just a playground for the government to have to fight wars. I'm going to go somewhere else. You can't. There's nowhere to go. I go to the moon. The moon's owned by who? Corporations. Shit. What do I do? I want to go somewhere else. You're already somewhere else. Just go jack into the internet. Look at pretty pictures of what green grass used to look like. Just think about what a human touch used to look like. Here's a cyberware that will make you remember what food used to taste like. Do you really want to escape? What are you going to do? Go fight Mad Max bandits in the ruins outside, in the mountains? No. Good. Stay in the city. It's miserable here, but it's better than being raped by BDSM monsters out in the wilderness. This is the world. This is the world you wanted, right? I don't want to be here. I don't like this. I want to go somewhere else. You're poor. You have no future. You have no life. You can just get a job working for a corporation, sell your soul, live comfortably. But I don't want to do that. Then you need to be a shadow runner. You need to be an edge runner. You need to be a criminal. You need to be outside the system. I hope you have a useful skill. What useful skill do you have? Well, my friend, I'm a cyber doc. I lost my license. I lost my license after I killed a guy on purpose. No. The first time was an accident, complete and total accident. Now, well, I got some good cyberware if you don't ask any questions where it came from. Are you asking questions? Wee! No, I'm not asking questions. Good. Now get in the goddamn chair.
And don't move like the last guy.
Like the first guy, don't move too much. What? I'm going to turn your brain off now. Trust me. Boom.
The old adage from the military: nobody moves, nobody gets hurt. That's exactly what this doctor has.
Right. I mean, it's like there's so many ways to play in this genre that's interesting. Like, I know that the criminals, but I had a player who was really good at playing the world's creepiest cyberdoc. Holy shit. Oh yes, Logan Run is a great one. But I've also had other players who were like, yeah, we make money fixing cars because they're the last mechanics in the city that don't overcharge. But they were constantly having to rummage parts because all the parts are sold exclusively by mega corporations. So they're like going out there into junkyards, sneaking into corporate junkyards to go pull parts to go replace it, to go fix a 20-year-old car and get it running. Why? Because the government passed a law that said no old vehicles on the road, but you kind of want to keep that 2034 Hellcat running for a little bit longer, but it hasn't been made in 30 years. And now you got to source parts. I've seen players who do that. I've seen players who their entire thing is, I played this. I played a character like this once where, yeah, I was playing the corporate stiff who wore a nice shirt, had my hair done nice, wore a good tie, and rode to work on my fucking moped. But what do you actually do? I was pretty much playing like a geekier, dorkier Julian Assange, I'm a data broker. I'm playing a data broker. I take data, then I get data, I clean data, and then I distribute data via the internet to various people, and I pay you for it. And it's like, oh, that's kind of boring. And go, but I was trying to play a character who is trying to change the world without shooting someone because I didn't want to play trench coat mall ninja. But don't worry, my cohort in crime was a trench coat mall ninja, and I looked at him like, could you just be any more stereotypical? He goes, could you be any more dorky? And I go, I'm not going to jail. You're going to get shot. And he's like, yeah, but I'll be cooler when I'm dead. Fuck you. He goes like, fuck you. You're going to die from Comcast, and you're going to die doing in a bad Matrix scene. And he's like, yeah, we're both dead. And the GM going, yeah, you both are.
So yeah, that kind of what I have. Kai, I know you have got more extensiveness with this, with especially games that you've run and whatnot. Something that, while I've been sitting here thinking, a great example of a cyberpunk type of, I guess you'd put it as a setting. People have brought up a lot of different things, Judge Dredd, Logan's Run. The one that I don't know why this keeps sticking out in my head, Demolition Man.
Oh God!
Demolition Man is like the epitome of what a kind of more of a low, I guess, not quite lowbrow, but more of a sneakier type corporation would actually pull for rehabilitation and whatnot. So, I mean, how do you feel on using that type of, because that is a very different type of cyberpunk game.
Okay, I think I would dump that one into the solar punk genre. The idea that the world is actually turning into a nicer, prettier, perfect place. But that one also highlights the fact that and that one went more into that one's more dealing into the more social agendas and what freedoms you're going to give up, so that way you can have a nice, perfect world. Dennis Leary's character is the best character in the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't care about Action Star 1 and Action Star 2, but I really like Dennis Leary. That's the entire reason why I watched that movie, because his rants speak to me on like an almost cellular level.
But I mean, if in looking at it, there is almost a type of dystopian feel to it once you go underneath the city, and where the people, they've got their own little market set up down there where they're cooking things, and it's great. Everything's great and amazing. And what do you do with the 3 freaking shells? All right. That's the question. What do you do with the 3 freaking shells? But that's the whole thing. Is the Cyberpunk doesn't necessarily have to be. Read your table. If your table is more into like the actual quote unquote cyberpunk setting game, go for it. If it's more into the Shadowrun setting, go for it. If you're looking for more of a social type game, that's like the epitome of the way to go. And there are people that do, and I'm not one to point fingers, but this guy, right over here, loves those social type of games. Where, yes, you do, Kai. Don't lie. You love your social games. You can try to have that look of me never.
Me? No,
but it's
never.
true. But it's true. So big thing is read your table, and the biggest thing that you can do is you can actually set and take things from. You've got several different genres that I've laid out here. You can cherry pick out of any of them and make your own type of setting. You don't have to use the carte blanche what they give you. Find a rule set you like, use that. Now, in looking at a rule set type of view, what type of rule set would work best with a cyberpunk game? DCG, we ain't heard from you in about 15 minutes because, well, yeah. So
you're out of the room.
What type of rule set would you use for a cyberpunk game that you're running?
As much as I only know Palladium, I actually have to say I would like to try what's the one where with the post-apocalypse where humans evolved into different species, ogres, elves?
That would be Shadowrun.
Yeah, Shadowrun.
Thank you. From what I've heard of Shadowrun, I would love to try that at either player or GM as cyberpunk setting in that.
It's one of the 2 iconics.
It is, and I mean, and you can. Here's the thing: is that you are not limited by it. Now, what I would suggest is talking to a few people, because there are a few of the rule sets that are better than others. It's kind. I hate to say it. It's kind of like D&D. Whatever your flavor of D&D, you want to use for your fantasy type game, use that flavor. Cyberpunk is actually much the same way. It has many different types of flavors, whether you want to use Palladium or whatever. But Kai, what would you use?
Right now, if it was my old friends,
what I'm meaning by is what rule set would you use for it? It doesn't necessarily have to be a cyberpunk game itself.
Okay, I have 3 answers for this.
Okay.
With my old friends who were a bunch of tinkerers and weirdos, Shadowrun. because we like magical weird bullshit. With some of my more current friends, probably would be Cyberpunk because it's the other flagship game. And if I actually got to have some fun and did some band-aiding and beating the rules to death with a stick until it got to where I wanted them to be, I'd probably actually use a hybrid mix of Traveler, Twilight 2000, and AD 2300, mix them together, put them in a blender, shake it up, throw out everything that's like super high tech, but not really. Because then I have BioWare, Cyberware, artificial intelligence, grav vehicles, laser weapons, weird stuff, and then go that cool battle dress. Yeah, it's just the top of the line. I'm awesome grade shit coming out of the corporations, and deal with slow boats around the solar system. It probably resemble way too much actually the Expanse. I'd probably run the Expanse RPG.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, as much as I like Traveler, probably the Expanse, because wait, I'm dealing with a miserable, despotic, horrible Earth that's miserable, a militant, stupid Mars that does stupid shit, the Belters, slow boats around the solar system, weird stuff, alien tech, cyberware, genetic engineering, and other strange stuff happening. Plus the idea that you're a faceless name in a massive crowd, and the internet exists, and everything's weird. Yeah, totally. It's a little bit more sci-fi than the average Cyberpunk game, but if anyone remembers the first couple books of The Expanse, that pretty much is what's a miserable, horrible experience trying to survive. You know, I don't have to set it in space. I can set it on Earth, and congratulations, you are one of billions who are now having a lottery to see if you get to actually have a life, or if you're just going to be on the dole, living with the masses. But don't worry, Mars exists. You can maybe someday go to space. What are you kidding? Earth, you're trapped here on Earth in a gravity well. You're going to die here. Get off the planet somehow. Find some way out. I would run that.
See, with me, I think what I would do is I would look at a cross between Traveler, and this one's going to throw you a little bit.
Okay.
Morrow Project.
Ooh.
Just because you have the post-apocalyptic type thing of, everyone's been taken back, basically back to the Stone Age. There's a few pockets where that hasn't happened, but for the most part. But
but that's more okay. No, I'm listening. Keep pitching.
But what I would do is I would look at the higher tech levels from Traveler, and that is going to be what you have in your bowl, and to go out and try to find more of this, because that's where the Earth was at when the Great Calamity happened. Now there are several of the what we think of modern type weapons that are still in circulation, but
the AK still exists.
Oh yeah, the AK, the Winchester, the tried and true guns that were out there are still out there. You also have smart RPGs with HUD helpers, I guess the best way to put it, to where you can it can change targets on the fly, literally. Where it can do like a force type projection, and you can drive over it like a bridge. Things along those lines. That's what I'm talking about. The high tech levels from like looking at Traveler, and then but within the Morrow Project universe. And those of you that have not played the Morrow Project, I definitely suggest you take a look at it. It is a fun system, fun game, and especially if you're playing with a bunch of people around you, it is a great way to, if you're not going to use it for the cyberpunk, you can use it, to, you know, look at, there's armories around, and you have to go and go to those armories, to get things. You have certain things in your bolt hole. How are you going to get those out? Because you have no other external access. Because for instance, the game I played, we had to literally disassemble our our jeeps and our all-terrain vehicles and everything else to get them out of the bolt hole, because the bolt hole was about twice the size of a human, and things would not fit through. You know, you can get all kinds of things, and it is actually, if you're looking at like a post-apocalyptic type thing, that is definitely an interesting way to go with it. So I think this is where we're gonna cut it for the night. Uh, I will say that we will revisit this maybe in 2 weeks. I think we there's a little bit more we can shear off this pear, so to speak. Uh, but next week we are going to have a very special guest. Bear the Gen X GM. He is going to be here. Uh, and he's actually going to give us a playthrough of Heroic. So where a superhero type game. Unfortunately, he was not able to do 2 weeks in a row for us, so we're going to do a week of that. Then I think we're going to do a second week of this, and then we will go back and do the second week of the Heroic. So we'll have like a week in between there. But yeah. So Kai, what do you have coming up this week or weekend?
This is the actual week for Bruce and I to have our conversations. Not last week. I was off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there, are you saying there might be some more cyberpunk talk?
We'll probably talk about that, or maybe some of the other straight. I have had 2 weeks of being way too busy to write anything in my own channel. It has bugged me. I have started things, then come back and gone, nope, delete. Write some more things, gone, nope, delete. I've been at my lunch break. Every time I start writing, something goes wrong. A new fire starts, and I have to go put it out during my lunch break, so I don't write there. And yeah, maybe I'll talk about things. I don't know. It'll be 3 to 4 hours of Bruce and I bitching until Bruce passes out.
All right, TCG, what do you got coming up this week?
Nothing this week, but next Saturday I'm going to have a video. The Centrati mech.
Okay.
And certain thing I'm not very fond of about that book.
Okay. We'll wait for the video. We'll wait.
Okay.
No. We'll wait for the video. That's
Okay.
where you throw it out there and just leave it out there to permeate, and people go, "Ooh, what is he talking about?" And then they'll go watch the video. So now, one other thing TCG brought up before we went on air, we were kind of sitting backstage waiting on Kai, is that he's actually looking at doing some additional play testing for his game. And are you said you were possibly looking for some players? Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you're interested for and what's the name of the game again?
I'm calling it Upon the Skies for the moment.
Okay. So which is a kind of a give us your elevator pitch for the game. It's easier to come from you since you're writing it.
It is a game where pirates sail upon the skies looking for treasure and solving the ancient mysteries and wondering why the world is the way it is. At least if you're a good player.
And what type of genre is it?
Depends on what part of the world you are in. If you are beneath the green sun, it would be tribalistic jungles. If you are beneath the red sun, it is steampunk Egyptian. If you are beneath the blue sun, it is wind-powered ancient Japan. If you are beneath the purple sun, it is very Romanistic with Russian elements, mostly have how they deal with the cold. And beneath the yellow sun is Victorian cyberpunk.
Okay. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, definitely feel free to reach out to TCG. He's looking for Sundays. So those of you, if you've got some free time on Sundays, I know he would definitely like to get a nice little core group that he can sit down with and take a look at this and see exactly some of the new stuff that he's written, see how it kind of plays out and whatnot. So everyone, we want to definitely thank you for joining us. Don't forget, next week, as I said, we are going to have Bear the Gen X GM here with us. And we're going to be doing a little bit of Heroic, which is 100% funded, by the way, on Backer Kit. So if you have not taken a look at that yet, definitely I suggest do so. I believe that they were really super close to unlocking some more STLs for the 3D prints of some of the iconic ones that Bear has generated for within the universe. So definitely, check that out. And with that, from myself, Kai, and the Crafting Gamer, we thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.